Hey everybody, Dave back here in the film room here at BCC. We've got Andrew Shipp with us today. Andrew, welcome to the film room, aka Shipper or
Yep.
Ship,
Either
however you
way.
want to go about it, right? He
Yeah.
he he refers back to anything. Okay, Ship, here we are on number one, and let's kind of walk through this. What do we got here?
A little block push out there, but like serviceable.
Yeah,
And like
you,
over here, left side, that pin you can't see, but that pin was right.
okay.
So I knew I was like I'm just gonna kind of hit it straight-ish, but off that lie,
Yeah,
and that it's gonna kick it. So
gonna get it going back to the right a little bit, off of the balls a little above your feet. Thing that I like about it is you missed it in a good spot. Missed the tee ball left. The pin is right side of the green, so good angle to come back into it. And with that little bit of a lie, it looks like you got a little sweeper going and did exactly what you said it was going to do. And look at that, you hit it tight to
yeah,
about a foot, and
and I was watching. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And I think I mean it almost went in, which is pretty cool. So
yeah. And, and,
good way to start.
you know what? You can't birdie all nine if you don't birdie the first, right?
True.
All right, on to number two. Ship, before we get into it, tell us a little bit about your game. How long have you been playing golf?
I've been playing golf. Like I picked up clubs probably like just around college, and
Okay.
then didn't really play seriously until like COVID again.
Hmm.
And then picked up COVID, and then actually joined Berkeley around the end of 2020.
Okay.
Um, it's been a cool journey since then. Like when I joined Berkeley, I was like a 14 or something
Uh-huh.
like that, and then over the past couple years, definitely helping working with you and some lesson stuff, and then just playing with people up at Berkeley. I've dropped down. I'm playing at like a 2 now.
That's a heck of an improvement there, man. That is awesome. Any you're a soccer player. We know that growing up playing soccer. Any injuries or anything like that I need to know of as we're watching the game? I mean,
No soccer.
I know some
Yeah, no
injuries,
soccer
but
injuries, but I actually did take a golf ball to the right eye, so I don't have a right eye.
okay.
So something that I struggle with because it's my lead eye because I'm
Hmm.
left-handed
Yep.
is alignment is always a thing because I feel like I am always closed to the target because it's this
Target.
eye, but
Yep.
normally
Okay.
I'm always open to the target, or so that's where I struggle. I would say the most
Okay. Alignment.
is like alignment. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Awesome. All good things to know. So here we are in number two. I think the pin was over on the right hand side of the green.
yeah, which is
Okay.
not something you're ever trying to go at. I wouldn't say
Yep.
you just kind of it's about it's like 135-ish yard shot from the blue tee, so it's
Hmm.
hit straight down there. If you do push a little bit left, it's gonna bounce right,
Yep.
flag high. Like anytime you can put a three on the card or something close to a three is good, and you kind of walk away and
With
breathe a sigh
that,
of relief.
yeah, with that right hand pin. Exactly. And here, you
I
hit
mean,
it just touch short, and then you tried to lag one up there.
yeah, it
And
was just I mean, I think I just dead pulled it. I was
yeah,
scared that it wasn't going to come back, and I just was like,
sure.
it's like a tentative stroke, but it's not a putt you're necessarily trying to make, right? You're just
Right,
trying to,
right. From 20, 25 feet, whatever the putt was, the most important thing on those in my eyes is, yes, your line was off by about 2 or 3 feet, but you know what? Your speed was pretty darn good, and you had a 2 or 3 footer left. That's
yeah.
exactly what you're after.
I recently put a jailbird putter in the bag, and
Uh-huh.
it's got like that bigger mallet head,
Yeah,
and my I was actually talking with Ben Cole yesterday about it. He putted with one, and
yeah,
he was like, "Man, the speed is so good, but I just could not hit the hole."
yeah. Huh.
So, and I'm kind of like somewhat okay with that, in that sometimes you're gonna get the hole and hit the hole and get lucky,
You're
but I
right.
feel like with that heavier mallet, my speed control is a lot better. So I'm
It's
not
better.
three
Yeah,
putting, right? And so like
yeah,
if you avoid
yep.
the three putts, that's where you can shave strokes too.
Exactly, exactly. No, so that's a good thing for you.
Yep.
So on to number three, kind of a slight dog leg back to the right. What was our target here?
The target is always staying inside of the Christmas tree that you can not totally see in this angle, but the left side of the fairway here.
Okay.
I mean, it's a tough angle to see, but I feel like I'm aimed up the right side pretty
Yeah,
aggressively.
yeah, no. And are you trying to turn it over, work it back to
Well,
the right?
spoiler alert, I do turn over. I hit like a pull the hook, essentially. Um,
Okay.
but I think what I struggle with the alignment here is because the tee box does point you at that tree in front of you.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so you have to, and I hit a cut, right?
Uh-huh.
So, and if I hit a slice, I'm dead. So I a lot of times set up somewhat inside here,
Okay.
and if I either hit a good drive or I usually pull this thing because I'm worried about going left,
Yep.
and
Yep.
so it's always like a feast or famine situation for the
Right.
most part.
Right. Right.
So, I don't know.
I
Any like thoughts on?
Yeah, so obviously having a routine and going through your routine the same way every single time, right? That's number
Yeah,
one. But when you get on a tee box that's is lined someplace where you don't want to go, so it's a misaligned tee box.
yeah,
Um, I think it's good standing behind the ball, picking out your target in the distance, drawing a straight line back, and picking a target as close to the ball
well, yeah,
as you can, right? To help align the face of your club there and
yep.
then work your feet off of that. That's how I go about it.
So a
Mhm.
question on that,
Yep.
because that's what I try and walk through that process the majority of the time, right? It
Hmm.
is like, and for better for us at Berkeley, sometimes you do because I play there frequently. You kind of I know the line every time that I step up to a tee box,
Yep.
so sometimes I definitely do get lazy on exact like that line, what that line is in the distance.
Sure.
But I do always try and find either like, a funny blade of grass or a stick or
Yep.
something as
An
close to the
imperfection.
ball, yeah, in
Yep.
in front to get my face aligned there.
Hmm. Yep.
But we talked about, the eye thing and like, my feet sometimes. So I'll get in, I'll set up,
Yep.
I'll get that face, line up where I want to.
Yep.
And then I get like happy feet in there, right? And I start like, oh, this doesn't feel
Yeah.
right. I feel closed. I
Sure.
feel open or whatever.
Sure.
Any thoughts on how to like get your feet set?
So yeah. So when I'm playing and I'm standing behind the ball looking down my target line, that is the line that I know is proper.
Okay.
So when I get over the ball and I set my club face to that target, that short target,
Yep.
I work my feet off of that, and I have to trust that my alignment is good, right?
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
there. Now,
Trust is the big one, right?
trust in the swing. So when you're
Well, trusting the
working,
feet, trusting
trusting,
that my feet, because I have to
yeah,
trust it because it's for better for worse. I know that it's not going to look right to me, but I
correct, correct.
but trusting that it is right.
Yes. And
That's okay.
And the way to work on that is when you're practicing at the driving range hitting balls,
Yeah.
don't just pick one target and continually hit to that target.
Yep.
Move your eye around the driving range, right? So the mats on the driving range or the grass on the driving range is aligning you one way, but
Yeah.
you have to move around. So it's very similar to maybe getting on a tee box and you'll
Yep.
go through those uncomfortable feelings,
Yep.
but go through your routine, check it every single time, and then get over it and trust it. That's
Yeah,
the important
that's
part,
a tricky one. It's funny you
right?
bring up the range and the mats.
Yeah,
Another thing, because I'm so I like shapes and how lines work are just different
yeah,
to me no matter what.
yeah,
So when I'm on a range with mats,
yeah.
if I'm not hitting at like a straight target in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
but then I stand, I look down and I see like weird angles on like the rectangular mat,
Yeah.
my brain like
It-
can't comprehend it. It like to the point where it's like sometimes I struggle with it because it like basically just starts making me mad because I'm like I
yeah,
don't know where I'm going because
yeah,
this
yeah.
angle is telling me that I am going that way
Right,
and I need
right.
to go
Yeah,
that way.
yeah. And that's where, so if you have your whatever, your perpendicular line or parallel line actually,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and you move a target away from that parallel line or you're hitting to a target,
Yep.
throw a club down, throw an alignment stick down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you've got a different line
Yep.
just to train yourself what it feels like,
Right.
hit a
Yeah.
couple shots, then take the club away, but keep your feet in that same spot,
Yeah. And just
right?
trust it.
It just comes down to a trust thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
But we all have problems with
Theme of the
trust.
video here. Trust. Yeah. 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 All right. Let's get into. Well, I mentioned it
Okay,
earlier, but
sorry.
spoiler alert. Pull hook. But I actually hit it in the face, and a lot of time I do have that no spin, like low ball flight.
Well, yep,
Um,
yep.
it usually gets out there. So I think I'm just at the base of the hill. This is like the longest par four on the course, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
think,
435, 440, something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I think I had I think it was like 175, 180 in.
Uh-huh.
So it's an iron in my hand, but probably a 5 or 6 iron.
Yep.
Um, the flag is kind of back or middle front, I think.
Okay. Hmm.
Um, but once again, off of this lie, balls
Yep.
below my feet. I like to hit a cut.
Yep.
I know that it's gonna move left because it's
Gonna
a little bit
bleed
below my
black.
feet.
Yep.
And so I do have a tendency to kind of hit like a pull cut, which is a shot that I like feel consistent hitting. So like
Yep.
I'm pretty good. You can see that tree in the background. There's also those junction boxes that are behind that green. So that's
Yep.
kind of my target line. And I just, that
Yep.
shot feels comfortable because I know how that ball is going to react. And that's also, I was able to get there because I knew it was gonna fly a little bit out of that line, out of
Little
the rough.
jumpy
So
line.
it was
Sure.
wasn't sitting down. So
Yeah.
good ball
Good.
in, like
Good.
felt
Yeah.
good. Like I
Good.
actually got like my like hips through like
Uh-huh.
a guy that I do some training with. He always jokes because we'll do like FaceTime lessons sometimes. And he's like,
Uh-huh.
Ship, I want to see two cheeks. I want to see both cheeks because that
Yeah.
if I can see if you can see both cheeks, that means I actually got through.
Got
So
through it. Yeah.
I can at
Yeah.
least see that we can see
Yep.
like a cheek and a half there, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah. It's better than just one.
yeah.
So yeah, you hit a great shot here, coming out of the rough, and you hit it to, you know,
I think
7
it's like
feet,
10 feet up the hill,
10
like
feet.
as about as makeable of a putt on this. For anyone who hasn't played Berkeley, you don't really want to be above the hole, the
No.
majority, which I know like goes without saying at most places, but when Adam gets the greens, rolling up here, they
Yep.
can be pretty ticklish from above the hole. So left myself in a good spot to actually be able to like hit a putt with some conviction, which
Yeah.
is also I
No.
think super helpful.
Exactly. And you know what? You rolled it in,
I
and
rolled it
we.
in. I mean, it was a handsy putt though. Like you look
Yeah.
at like there's almost no shoulder rotation there.
No. No. And that's that's what happens
I
when
just
you're an athletic person. You know what I mean? You're just, your hand-eye coordination is spot on right now. You're, starting the round off on a heater, and you got it going.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that it's we've talked about it in the past, but it's definitely some days in golf it's working. Like that's obviously not a very repeatable putting stroke
No,
for success over time.
right, right. And you'll see, as as the viewers are going to see, as this round goes on, yes, you have limited lower body. We're using a lot of our upper body.
I've got
And
broad shoulders, Dave. My wife told me that she likes my
you,
broad shoulders, and I need to use that. It's like I like to use the shoulders, but
exactly.
truthfully, in all seriousness, I gotta activate the lower half. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
tough.
Exactly. And hand-eye coordination, if you're on, you're going to be on certain days.
Which is
Certain
ironic that I have good hand-eye coordination because I only have one eye. But
one eye.
all right, so
I
here on
wasn't going to go
full.
there, but
Yeah, no, no, no. Feel free, bring it on, Dave. I'm a big boy. I can take it.
you got big shoulders. All right. On to number 4. We're 2 under. Driver choice here. Just go ahead and rip it.
So yeah, so
Hit it as far as you can.
I hit his. I mean, I don't. I'm not like a. I wouldn't call myself a particularly like long player, but I can move it. On average, like 270 ish.
Yeah,
It's shorter hole.
sure.
I don't normally hit like a violent. slice, so
Uh-huh.
left usually doesn't really come into play for everyone. If you're watching, like left is OB
As open. Yeah.
is pretty dead there,
Yep.
and so you have kind of miles right.
Yep.
And for the most part, I mean, you have those four trees that are kind of like are the the protection of this hole.
Uh-huh.
And the majority of the time, I'll just try and hit a cut at that middle of the three trees,
Yep.
and just let that thing kind of fall
Fall
over.
fall back. Yeah.
Um, and usually the wind is working off of the right, so
Off the right.
it's pushing it left too. So I've
Yep.
kind of got those two things working with me.
Yep.
And I'm relative, I hit about, I don't know, 60-ish% of fairways, as
Uh-huh.
I kind of track that. So
Yeah.
statistically, I would rather, and we know that the data tells us banging it long is, even if you're not in the fairway, but you're out there,
Yeah.
you probably have a higher scoring chance than taking hybrid or iron off the
It,
tee.
exactly. So yeah, so you can see you've you've got your
Two
feet
cheeks.
aimed a little left. I see two cheeks. You got through it. You got
Yeah,
through it.
but it wasn't, yeah, I mean, I hit it in the center of the face at least.
Yeah, again, solid, right? So there's where we're gonna have our ball speeds to get the ball out there, right?
Yeah.
And
And I kind of just, it's, I mean, I hit the shot I wanted to.
yeah, it just
It's
didn't fall back to the left, right?
Yeah, I maybe just kind of actually rolled my hands over a little bit and
A little
just
bit.
kind of kept
Yeah,
it there.
yeah. So here
Yeah,
we are.
yeah, so
We're
how do you hit this shot?
so what do you probably have about 80 yards or so, 70 yards, maybe a little less.
Yeah, maybe even less. Yeah,
Yeah.
for everyone, you can't see where the flag is. It's tucked back-ish left, which is helpful
Uh,
because if it's right, you're
or
totally dead.
done, right? Yeah.
So at
So
least they had a chance of getting back there. But
yeah,
just
so
like how do you approach hitting like a low shot that you want to get kind of rolling, basically?
yeah. So the way that I would play this shot, so it is a little bit different. All I would do is maybe take like a 9 iron. Now
Yep.
we know there's about, I don't know, 4 to 5 foot embankment right in front of the
Yep.
green. So we do have to be careful there because if we fly it into that embankment, it's going to stop. It's not going to roll, right? So you could take, it looks like the tree limbs above you probably weren't too terribly much in play,
They
but
weren't. I mean, well, and
so
especially if you're right-handed here too,
yeah,
this shot becomes exponentially easier. Not easier, but you have more, wiggle room.
wiggle, yeah, yeah. So you could take, call it a gap wedge, and being that it was a back pin, and fly it onto the front of the green and let it trickle back there.
Yeah.
Or something like this. What I like to do is I like to take like a 9 or 8 iron, believe it or not, just
Okay.
choke down a little bit, play it back in my stance a touch. Now, obviously, for me, that ball is gonna, being right-handed, but ball is above my feet, gonna want to
Yep.
work back to the left or start left.
Yep.
But for you, same kind of thing, ball below your feet, it's gonna want to start a little bit to the left. But
Yep.
I would just play it back in my stance, not try to do anything crazy, and just do like a little bump and run. Now that is more of a feel shot, and it's
Totally.
something that you have to do more often to get that feel, right? To know how that ball is going to react. Um, and it doesn't look like the lie was terrible.
No,
So you
it's
could get
serviceable.
the club on the back of the ball, right? So what did you end up pulling
So,
here?
so I had like I think I either had 7 or 8 iron in my hand and just tried
Okay.
to hit like a little bump and run. Something that and you'll see it here to some degree, but something I struggle with hitting bump and run shots
Yep.
is because I put that ball back in my stance.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a tendency either to do one of two things. Either basically top it
Yeah.
because I'm or hit it thin and
Okay.
blade it. Because like ball position changes
Yep.
I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
And because, it's a touch shot as well,
Yep.
with that back in my stance, I also kind of finish my hands in like funny places.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I've tried to work on is kind of maybe not necessarily keeping it back in my stance, maybe
Mm-hmm.
kind of keeping it not forward, but at least neutral.
Yeah.
and just focusing on keeping my hands low, like through impact. Is that does that
It,
make sense? Is that like a recommended like
it
thought?
does.
Because the
Yeah.
hands are low, the ball should stay low, right?
Keeping the hands low, most importantly, keeping the hands in front of the club face,
Okay.
right, is going to help keep the ball low, right? Keeping your hands in front of the ball at contact is going to help keep the ball low.
Cool.
But keep in mind, as this round is going, we've become a little bit handsy, right? We're hitting more with our hands. So, we're in a little bit of a predicament here. We're behind a tree. We're in some rough. We need to hit a delicate shot. So there's higher tension maybe. So
Totally.
now,
And I'm kind of working on a round too, right? So like,
exactly, we know we're playing well. So now, there's a little bit more pressure. So what happens when we're using our hands and not using our body properly? The tension picks up, and our hands are starting, our
speaking of
hand-eye
tension, Dave,
coordination
here
starts
we go.
going away, right? So,
And I hit the ball. I hit it so hard, but
yeah,
like talking about, it hit that embankment, and
yep,
I got lucky. It stayed up.
yep.
Still, this putt I cannot express to you because there's a knoll
It's hard
like
to
a
notice in this.
foot in front of like where my ball is
Yep,
that just pushes everything hard. Right, you can see that hill coming off. This thing,
exactly.
I was aimed 8 feet
Way,
right in the hole, maybe.
way right. Yeah,
It
yeah,
looked like as I was standing over it, I was like, this is like a circus putt." It was pretty funny.
yeah. No, and I think that you did a great job with. I mean, you could see how far out you had to hit it, and it trickled right down there, and I think that was a great putt.
Yeah,
Again, the speed,
I
right?
probably was a little too cavalier with that tap in. That's still
I
about
you know, well,
4 feet downhill, but
yeah, yeah.
but things were I was kind of vibing a little bit, I guess.
You're rolling, right? Yeah, exactly. No, I like it. It's, you know what? After that drive and where that pin is and that second shot, you know what? You walk away with a par, and I'll take a
Take
par on that
four
hole
and
all day long.
run. I
Yep,
mean, really, honestly, at Berkeley, if I can get to 7 tee box
yep,
at 2 over,
yep,
I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I can have a day.
yeah.
Because these first six, I like the holes, but
Yep.
they're not
They're not
easy.
easy.
Yeah.
No, 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 totally. So yeah, you walk away with par on four, and you're 2 under. You get to the fifth tee, and we're ripping it again.
Yeah, same kind of deal here. I definitely have, as most members of Berkeley, have experimented on 4 and 5 with driver to 5 iron off of
Yeah.
these two tees because on 5 you've obviously got OB left and you got a bunker right,
Yep.
and then you also have that rock with bunkers a little bit down there farther left.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
But
So
it
I
was
mean,
kind of
again, you hit
just
it solid, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think like the probably the proper play here is like hitting like five like my 5 wood or something off of this tee.
I agree. I think that the further, as the further or the closer to the green you get, the more narrow it gets, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think we've seen a fairway yet. I still don't know what the short grass looks like so far, and we're already on
Hey,
number
you
five.
know what? The nice
So
thing about Berkeley is you can play out of the rough.
you sure can, as you were
My
doing.
good friend Kyle Atani, very good player. I don't think he's ever found a fairway, but the guy scores.
So that's where we differ, right? So if I've got your round going, I'm hitting my 4 iron. I'm just trying to find the short grass. Just get me in the fairway.
Dave,
Although, you know
you
what?
hit 89% of fairways, like career 89% fairway, and so yeah, we just have different games, but
Yeah,
that's what golf's about. Different games, people can still score.
exactly. But hey, you know what? You pump this one out there. It
I was just,
pitches
I was
the
well, so
right.
I was trying to point it back, like it's out down the fairway line, and I was like, just give it that little kick, but
Yeah, yeah. No, it's again, you're just
see, I was
you're not
close. Hey,
missing. You're not
we
missing
see
by
the
much.
fairway, That's close enough.
Exactly.
Um,
Looks
yeah,
nice.
so like maybe like a buck 10, buck something like right around that.
Okay.
Flag is for everyone who's played at Berkeley. This green is also it's a trickier
Tough
green, I
one.
would
Tough
say.
one. Yes.
Um, and
Little
so
undulation.
Yeah, a little undulation to two distinct tiers that are equally confounding. Um, same deal here. Alignment
Yep.
on five is always a struggle for me because
Uh-huh.
normally I'm on this side of the fairway, but kind of wherever you are on this fairway, the ball tends to be slightly above my feet,
Yep. Yep.
and
Yeah, everything slopes that left to right.
the wind is always pushing right,
Yep.
which is like a draw ball flight for me.
Right.
And so I have struggles with two, both with like the alignment of my feet because like trusting that I'm lined at that green is difficult.
Hmm.
Especially this is another thing that's like weird with me. Even if I'm close to that fairway, I
Yep.
can see that line of that fairway.
Yep.
That line also, as I'm looking down, like does like get in my
Gets in
brain a
your
little
head.
bit.
Sure.
And I also know that above my feet, even if the wind is nascent, it's still going to be I'm still going to be a pull tendency for me
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
that wind pumping. I also struggle
It's
with like
really.
I almost like pick a line that would be like that left of that the kind of gap in the trees where you can see the clouds
Yeah.
out there,
Yeah. Exactly.
and just hoping that the
Yeah.
wind hit.
And that's exactly what you, yeah, I mean, that's a good way to think about it, right? You pick your target, you try to get away from anything else and swing to your target, right?
It comes
And
back to
knowing,
trust too, right? Like it kind
yeah,
of comes back to
yeah,
like the ball, like physics is real, right? So
yeah,
just like trust that those things are going to happen.
yep, you got it. You got it. So, um,
So I executed a shot. I think I probably, to be fair, pulled it a little bit more than I wanted to,
just a
obviously,
touch. Yeah.
but you know, on the
Yeah.
green a little bit deep.
Yeah. But again, right? I mean, you the distance was there, right?
Yep.
You executed a shot. You had a plan, right?
Yep.
That's the biggest thing, right? Is I think a lot of us go through holes and don't really have a plan. We think that we have a plan, but um,
Right.
going through your routine, picking out your target, and then executing that plan. And what I mean executing it is, did I do the things that I was looking to do? Right? Did I get my ball started on the target line, or the line that I was looking at? Right?
Totally. Yep.
Did the wind affect the ball? Did the elements affect the ball? But you know what? Again, your yardage was really good there. You didn't have, yes, you missed the green by just a touch, but not that much because you're still able to get the putter on the ball,
Yep.
right? So, you know what? Again, anytime, in my opinion, you walk away on number 5 with a par, a relatively easy par, hey, let's go
Feeling
get
good.
number 6, right?
Hey, just like look at this putt though. So that green looks like it has to go right.
Yeah, yeah. This,
And
it,
this thing, I think I remember hitting a pretty good putt here, but this thing broke up the hill the opposite way
back, yeah, yeah.
because
Um,
it came and finished. So
yeah,
like,
that's wild.
I don't know how you read that because you have to start that thing cut like down here by like to get that.
Like almost a ball or two outside, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Which is this, but
No,
yeah,
it's I think that's part of just getting to know the greens as well, right? Sometimes there's optical illusions. For
oh yeah,
instance, number 6, right? Number 8, they
yeah,
all look like they're pitched back to front, but it's really not. It's front to back.
yeah. Man,
So
my
I
first couple holes at those greens, like I would just auto three putt with a couple of those.
yes. So on to number 6. You're still 2 under. 6 is not an easy hole, but I think that it sets up pretty good to your eye.
Yeah,
And you like play that little bleeder off to the left, and
yeah,
I think you hit a pretty good one there, right?
yeah. I hit a good one. I don't think we found the fairway again,
No.
but same deal here, right? Like I hit that, hit a right to left ball. The wind is usually working back right, so I
Yep.
usually can just hit a cut into that wind, and it usually holds it pretty straight.
Yeah.
Um,
Perfect.
you just got to
Um,
miss that
just
tree.
got to go in a little bit more, yeah, than you wanted. So out of the left rough.
Yep, and
Pin was
yeah,
back
you can't.
left.
Pin was kind of, it was, I would say left middle.
Left middle.
Uh,
Okay. Uh-huh.
and so I had, you just have miles of room right
Yep.
to hit into this flag, and you always kind of want to take a little bit less, and because it's going to bounce, and like we said, this green looks like it's pitched this way, but it definitely is pitched opposite towards the hole.
Yep.
And this is a shot where I just frankly just got super lucky. I just hit basically a dead push
Uh-huh.
that happened to get lucky.
Yeah, you know what? And yeah, we pushed it a little bit, but that's going to be the tendency with the ball a little bit below your feet, right?
And
Just a
also
little.
aiming right gives me
Yeah.
the ability to, if I'm aiming
Yeah.
at that flag and I push that
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you're right now through this round, you're playing your misses really, really well.
Yep.
Right? And that's part of golf. We're going to have days when our misses are spot on, and
Yep.
we miss this one to about looks like 6 or 7 feet, 5 feet, and
Yeah.
but contrary, we're going to have days when our misses are not that good. And
Totally.
so yeah, and there
That
you
was
are with night.
that was a good putt too. Like once
Yeah,
this, I look like I'm falling over right there. But
getting ready to
this
run a
green's,
marathon.
yeah, yeah. This green's another tricky one. Anytime you can hold a putt here, or really even get away with two putts, you're always feeling pretty good.
Yeah, no, and that just gets you to that 3 under par, and you're on one now, and then we get to I don't want to call it an easy short par four just because of the green complexion, but you've got a short par four.
It's a scoring hole. I think
Yeah,
Peter James refers to once you get down after 6 and you get in the amusement park, because the amusement park is 7 and 8 and 9 to some degree, but
yeah,
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 7 and 8 is usually where you got to eat. So
exactly.
I'm standing on this T3 under, and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Let's go. We could get one, maybe two back,
Yeah,
here. So this one,
and I just popped it up, Dave. I hit it.
so
It was, oh, it was. I'm not like mad at myself, at this point in the round or whatever, but you're
yeah.
like, dude,
Yeah, what the hell was that?
dude, come on.
Where did that come from? But you can see on that shot how you just used all your upper body. You just kind of lunged into it, right? So with the driver, unlike your previous drives, how you stayed back behind it, right? That's good form there.
Wee!
Hold on, get that wedge shot out of the picture first, right?
Good Lord.
Oh
Um,
no.
but what we were talking about, if there's a hole that you can do this on and still
Yes,
get back in
yes.
it, it's
This
here.
is the one. Exactly. So, but again, this was a big miss in the way that you've been playing today, right? So this was a big miss, and you've got a short little pitch shot of probably 40, 50 yards or so into the
Yep.
green, right?
Yeah.
And
And this flag is middle, or like on that right side, but more kind of middle on that little shelf.
that saddle like,
Yeah, that's just,
yeah,
you've got little margin for error. And without a doubt, the worst part of my golf game is my ability to pitch the golf ball.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I would much rather have like topped it and have like 220 in
yeah,
than have like this touchy shot, because I'm just not comfortable
right.
over shots.
And that's where, common theme for this round is your hand-eye coordination has
Yep.
been excellent. We get to one of these dicey little shots, right? And it's not that we're trying to get cute and get it close, but
No,
we're just trying to probably get it on the green to give
I'm just
yourself a
trying to
putt,
hit it.
right?
I'm just trying to hit it forward. Like I'm trying to get up.
Advance
Like
it.
at this point, like I'm already kind of like, also like I think it's important to like, some people get in a situation like, all right, I'm 40 yards short of the green, like I got a chance to make birdie here, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm already like, okay, I hit a poor tee shot. I'm like out of position.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make four, and
Yeah.
like, even
Yeah.
though I have the ability to potentially, I'm gonna hit a green theoretically. But yeah, I think that it's like, okay, how do I get out of here with with a four?
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. And you'll see with this shot, it's again a lot of hands. and I would, that's when we get that little miss going. There's more excess movement than what we really want in that shot, right?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I would love to see more upper body rotation and maybe like a little bit of a more open stance rather than it looks like you're pretty
Shut.
closed off
Yeah.
there,
Yeah, I'm totally
right?
shut. Yeah.
So what happens with these shorter shots? Yeah, it turns into upper body because our lower body isn't rotating quick like when we're doing a full swing, right? So we
Yeah.
still have to clear that lower body or get that lower body out of the way. So opening up your stance in that one would have allowed for a little bit more upper body rotation and kind of feeling like you're dragging the club through impact rather than throwing
Yeah.
the hands at it, right?
Yeah.
But
Just a straight decel, and
yeah,
then a straight decel. Then I kind of try and then flip it, right, and then
right.
open my body, and then then you
Yeah,
got like four different thoughts thinking, going like that ain't it.
exactly. No, but you know what? You advanced it. You're getting closer
Advancing
to the
forward,
green.
advancing forward.
You're getting closer to the green. I
We're
guess
making
that's good.
momentum here. We're making momentum. And
All
so
right.
now, I technically did hit a green regulation. So
Yeah.
hey,
Caught,
like
caught, caught a piece. Caught a
yeah.
piece.
But probably the most impossible putt ever.
Yeah. So you could play this one or a couple ways, right? You could get the putter like what you've got, or you could get on Adam's bad list and take the 60-degree off the green, and
Well, I think that someone who's going to be coming up hopefully in film room soon is Matt Bowman, and Bowman doesn't putt from 30 feet, or he takes a wedge out, and it's incredible what he can do with that wedge.
there you
Considering
go.
Adam, don't listen to this, but yeah, maybe I need to get into like the Matty Bowman school of chipping on the green. But I don't know. You
I
just did
love
see my wedge game before, so
it. Flat stick all day long.
yeah. But mentally here, I'm just like get the speed
Yeah,
right-ish just to get it
yeah.
up there. I
Get it up there.
honestly didn't know. I know that this putt like it's gonna move left, but I
Yep.
also know as soon as you get up above that crest, everything on this thing breaks right.
Yeah.
So I just try to hit it straight and forward again.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You're just trying to give yourself a chance to make a putt to save a par,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's what you're trying to do. And yeah, I mean that fringe is going to slow it down a little bit. You got it up there, maybe I don't know, looks like 8 or 9, 10 feet or so,
Oh,
and
it was 11 or 12, I think.
11 or 12. Yes, exactly. But you know what? You're playing well, right? And we're gonna coax that one right in. And you know what? Again, we're walking away with a par, walking to a par five now, and we're like, all right, we just saved a great four, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's huge when you
Just like
had two, call it
silently, two
three, maybe not
bad,
so great shots, right?
bad
Bad,
golf.
bad golf shots. But
Who
it
is
took
it?
one.
Is it who? Yeah, who is it that said was it Palmer, Nicholas, somebody really old and smart?
Yeah,
Like it's
not you or I.
three bad shots and one good shot equal par, right? And then
Exactly. Moving on to the next hole.
this might be the most frustrating golf shot that I hit.
Oh,
Normally, I love this driving hole. I'm able to just like hit that pull cut over the kind of the a little bit right of the bridge
uh-huh.
on the creek, and I
Yeah,
basically did the. I
Ugh.
just yeah.
Just up and out of it a little bit,
Oh, just so
a
quick.
lot of
The
bit.
transition was bad.
Yeah.
So I hit this in the creek, and so this is a drop.
Okay.
So I'm hitting three, right?
So okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Um,
So yeah. So this one then here is just one where you're just trying to get it back in play, right?
Look how shut that guy is right there.
Yeah.
That's a pre-warning for what's about to happen.
Uh-oh.
Well, I guess this is the time in a round where it's like, all right, playing well.
Yep.
I've had essentially four of my last five golf shots have been bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
And things start going fast, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so any tips for like you can hindsight bias is
Yep.
20/20, right? So you can always
Right.
say like, hey, just slow down and like, but
Right.
anything that you can like It's like a
So
physical trigger that it's like,
yeah, when things get going in a direction, when you're playing really well, you've had, 4 or 5 bad swings, in a row, but you're still at a good number, right? So what I do is, you know, on the back end, you're trying to control your breathing, right? Like you
yeah,
hear all these athletes, I'm trying to control my breathing. I'm trying to slow everything down.
yeah,
Change your pace of walk if you're walking, right? Try walking maybe a little bit slower. Now, I don't like that because it decreases our pace of
yeah,
play, but no, I'm
fair,
teasing.
fair, fair enough, fair
But
enough.
you know what? When you get up over the ball, still going through your routine and sticking to your routine is super important.
Yeah,
What I see, excuse me, happens lots of times is people's transitions get quick, right?
totally.
So that throws us off of our regular our tempo. So what I would do in that case, and what I have done when I get nervous and I start hitting these bad shots, is I'll literally take a practice swing away from the ball, but at full speed, but pausing at the top. Right, I will literally pause for a second and then go ahead and take a couple swings just like that, trying to get my tempo back on cue. And that's what I do. Other people might have some other suggestions, but you're just
Just
trying
like
to get
think
back
of a
into that
literal like
rhythm, right?
physical action to
Yeah,
break.
yeah,
Just
exactly. The other part that I'll do sometimes is if I know I have a certain number, so call it 150, and that might be my 8 iron, I'll also sometimes go up to my 7 iron and I will slow my swing down that way, knowing that I have too much club.
yep,
So I swing a little bit slower to try to get back into a better rhythm. That's another way to do it.
cool. All right, well, let's get back into this.
Nope.
Oh,
There it is.
yeah, just over the top. So
Just,
the transition was so quick, I
yeah,
couldn't help but laugh.
yeah.
But I did. Hey, we kind of hit a fairway. I'm on some short aircraft.
Yeah, about 4 shots later.
Yeah,
No.
kind of middle right. I think the flag was here.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think like 85 or something
Yeah,
like that. And
yeah.
um,
Good, good. You could see even on that shot, it was better. You see how you're clearing your lower body a little bit
yeah,
better, and you've got a little bit more shoulder rotation going.
what's
Um,
that? I,
it's
I'm like
kind of
folded over. That's
you're almost kind of hanging back, right?
oh, totally. Yeah,
Right. So covering the ball, having the feeling of covering the ball for you would help there. To get everything moving forward. So yeah, and that's
tempo
the
was
hands.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but it's handsy, right?
yep, yep. And again, you got a pretty decent strike on it,
Yeah,
and
and all in all, this is the putt to save part too, right? So like,
right, right. So you've got yourself back into a spot where you can save a par and move on.
yeah.
Um,
And Dave, I hit a good putt here, man. I knew what it did. I
yeah,
just didn't hit it.
just another 6 inches of speed and it's in,
And
right? So I think that's one time. Sometimes we get so focused on the line,
oh, line
and
drunk. Oh,
you
I
you
hate
you,
getting line drunk. Oh, it's
you
so frustrating.
exactly, and then we just forget to hit the putt, right?
Yeah. But
Um,
all right, coming in tonight, two
last
over,
and
feeling
last
great. Great,
last and
great
final
holes.
chance to hit a fairway, and
I hit a good ball at least.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
you hit it solid.
honestly, on I kind of remove the fairway as a concept on this hole
Uh-huh.
because so there's the three center line bunkers.
Yep,
Sometimes I can carry it, sometimes I can't. Usually it's downwind,
yep,
but it's an uphill green that is relatively receptive. Like you
yeah,
don't necessarily need to like spin it.
right,
So I'm just kind of like hit it hard
yep.
out there,
Get it
which
up there as
I'm
far
sure
as you
that,
can.
I'm sure that if any course architect is listening to me talk, they're like, I hate everything about that.
Yes.
But that's kind of, and even if you get into that middle or that middle fairway bunker, it's not that bad because it is like relatively shallow, and
Yep. And it's
as
still
far as
a
fairway
full
bunker
swing.
shot,
It's a 100-yard shot. Yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly. Yep.
But anyway, so I hit it well. It's like I
Yeah.
carried the fairway bunkers. I'm like over here on the right side, good angle
Yeah.
in
And
this.
and that's kind of been your theme today, right? I mean, yes, you're missing fairways, but the angles back to the holes, hey, they're just fine. They're good angles, right?
And
So yeah,
another thing that graphically we don't have them up here necessarily, but the majority of the numbers I had in approach wise,
yeah,
numbers I really liked. Like,
yeah, yeah,
sometimes, some people like I really like a about 100-yard shot, which I know
right,
everyone's like, yeah, I love 100-yard shots too. But
yeah, yeah,
sometimes people really like a 110 or that 90 shot. They like
yep,
have that shot that they like, but I just found
yep,
myself in situations where I had like I knew the shot to hit. I'm not having
yep,
like manipulate a club or
yep,
do that. And I think that
yep.
that's another piece that
Oh yeah,
you don't
no,
necessarily think about is
and
like helping in scoring rounds, but
yeah,
sometimes you just get lucky, right?
yep, yep, exactly. And that's when you're talking better players like yourself, and guys, that college golfers and high school golfers that are good players and pros, they're working backwards, right? They're working from the green back to the
Yeah.
tee. So
Totally.
hey, what number do I want hitting into this green? Well,
Yeah.
I want that 100 number. Okay, we're on a 400-yard hole. Okay, well, I better hit it 300 yards or
Yeah.
whatever the case might be, right?
Right. 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 Right.
So that's a good way to think about and put together your plan, right, for
Yeah.
a hole. But yeah, again, here you are. You got a good number. And when you've got a good number, you've got confidence, right? You've got a lot
Yeah.
of confidence, and again, you've got that confident number, and you stuffed it again. And
I did
so
stuff it. I mean, I pushed it just a hair, but like
yeah,
that hits off that hill and comes here, right? So
right,
like it was,
yep,
once again, I wasn't intending to go at this flag,
yep,
but because I picked a target right of it
yep,
and pushed it a little bit,
shoved it, yep,
you
yep,
end up okay. I
yeah.
said pushed it, Dave. I didn't say shoved it. It was a push, okay.
Okay, you pushed it a hair.
Push, no, shove is probably the more accurate description of what I did
And
there.
some of that, not all of it, but some of it is dictated based on the lie, right? That ball was a touch below your feet, right?
Appreciate that excuse.
So
Appreciate that excuse.
golfers are good at excuses.
Yeah, we are.
So you got your birdie putt. You know
Okay,
what? That's just a heck of a round, man. That's a 3 under 33, and you know what? You hit a lot of great shots. Going over some statistics, I
yeah.
don't even want to tell you to hit it in the fairway. You know what? You hit 0 fairways, dude, and you shot a 33. So I'm not even going to tell you that fairways in your round are overrated.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, I wrote this down too. It literally is 0 fairways.
that's awesome. No, Ship. I think that you had a heck of a round. You ended up with 13 putts.
Yeah.
You got up and down 4 or 5 times out of five. I think you got up and down 4 out of 5 times, something like that, to save par.
Yeah.
Or 3 out of 4 times,
Three.
something like that.
Yeah.
Um, you know, yes, we didn't hit any fairways, but at the same time, you weren't far off. And with those missed fairways, you were hitting comfortable shots for yourself, all except for maybe number 3, where you had 175 yards.
Yeah.
But still, you executed that shot.
Well, on that, I don't usually have that much more, depending on
Right.
seasonality or whatever. But you usually know that you're going to have 160 to 70 yard shot
Yeah.
into that hole.
Yeah.
So it's at least a shot on that hole that you have frequently, so you accept like that distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
The most
Exactly.
uncomfortable shot was the shot I had on 7, like
And
that.
that was the shortest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think, if I was telling you, I think that's where you can really improve, right?
yep.
And feeling more of the clearing of the lower body, but then letting the club drag through, feeling like you're swinging with your shoulders to stop the manipulation of using your hands. right?
Yep.
That's kind of where we get into a little bit of trouble, especially on those shorter shots. The thing to take away from this round was your hand-eye coordination was excellent today, right? Your timing was excellent, but just knowing exactly, and knowing that we're going to have good days like that, but we're also going to have days when our timing is off, and it's going to be a crazy show out there, right? Because we're going to be batting balls all over the place. Yeah. But I think that you did awesome, and it was fun watching that round, because you know what, you weren't totally on either, right? I mean, you were missing shots here and there, but you were missing shots in the proper spots, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
no,
chaos
man,
round. Chaos round.
It was fun to watch. You did great. Thanks for letting us walk through that round with you.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate you, the insight, the thoughts, the lighthearted banter, and subtle jabbing is much appreciated and much needed in my in how I kind of internalize and take in feedback. So I appreciate you messing around with me there.
You got it, man.
But yeah, so yeah, thanks for doing this, and then I think that we've got a couple more film rooms lined up with a couple.
Yes, we do.
Interesting characters. So
yes, it's going to be fun. I'm always looking forward to these. Yes, thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave.
All right, bye.